Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Diabetes Sisters Life Class Webinar, Natural Ways to Reduce Allergies. My name is Anna Norton, and I'm the CEO of Diabetes Sisters. I will be also moderating today's webinar. Today, I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Jody Stanislaw to our faculty of webinar presenters. Dr. Jody, as she's called to so many of us that know her, received her doctorate degree in 2007 from Bastyr University in Seattle. She recently earned the title of Certified Diabetes Educator as well. Her work includes helping people with diabetes become empowered with how to live a happy and healthy life. She also walks the diabetes journey with us, diagnosed over 35 years ago. I'm excited to present today's topic as so many of us suffer from seasonal allergies, oftentimes with very little relief. Please welcome Dr. Jody to lead us the next half hour on natural ways we can reduce allergies.
Okay, thanks, Anna. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for having me. I love helping people feel better. And this is definitely not a diabetes-specific question, but, you know, if we already have diabetes and then allergies on top of it, it just creates even more stress sometimes. So allergies, obviously, this time of year can be a real pain. And frankly, allergies cause an excessive immune response and can raise blood sugar levels. So anytime the body is trying to fight, anything, be it infection or even allergies, the blood sugar levels can be increased because it's a stress to the body. And anytime there's a stress to the body, your body makes more cortisol. And cortisol is definitely going to raise your blood sugar level. So indirectly, treating allergies will keep your blood sugar levels more normal. Okay, so so of course, here are the symptoms, right? Runny nose, itchy, watery eyes, sneezing, coughing, hay fever, dark circles under the eyes. We all kind of know what those symptoms are. So what causes these symptoms? Well, springtime pollen, right? All the trees are releasing their pollen, their little tiny grains released into the air. It's going to be worse on windy days, right? Because there's even more pollen going around. So the higher the pollen count, the greater the allergy symptoms. So basically, pollen is acting to irritate the immune system, and then the immune system thinks it's like a foreign virus or a bacteria or something. The immune system is inaccurately overreacting to all these little pollen in the air. Here are all these just common trees, big offenders, and some grasses and weeds. It doesn't really matter. If you have allergies, something's bothering you, and it doesn't really matter what. Okay, so why is this happening? Well, the immune system, what that is, it's your immune system's overreacting when it shouldn't be. And so what I'm going to go into today is explaining why there's reasons for the immune system to overreact. Because pollen is not something that is lethal, right? But why is the immune system acting like it needs to be all inflamed and kill it, right? So that's the answer I will answer today. And that's the difference between, that's the focus of holistic medicine. Holistic medicine, we're not going to just give you something to dry up your nose and dry up your eyes. I want to think, well, why is this happening in the first place? And let's fix that. Okay, so the immune system is overreacting with allergies. The immune system is supposed to attack things to keep your body safe and attack invaders like bacteria and viruses. And my point when I say pollen gets into the nose and can activate the immune system, though not in everybody, is my point, is like if you have allergies or if you don't, we shouldn't have allergies, right? Because if they were such a horrible thing that was bad for the body, everybody would react to them, right? But the question is, why are you reacting and not everybody else? Because if everybody else around you is exposed to the pollen, but they're not reacting, then what's the difference? It's not the pollen, right? Because if it was the pollen, everybody would react. It's what's going on in your body, okay? So, like I alluded to already, there's two treatment approaches. First, just treat the symptoms. Eye drops to get your eyes stopped running, nose sprays to have your nose stop running. Or, as a holistic physician, I want to keep the body from overreacting in the first place. And I'll get into that today. So here's the problem with drugs, obviously. They can make you sleepy. They can be toxic to your liver. Nasal sprays can be addicting. They lose their power. Can cause chronic congestion. And they're really not addressing why your immune system is overreacting in the first place. So a natural approach, treat the problem at its root and keep the immune system from overreacting in the first place. So here are things that can cause the immune system to overreact. If we're eating a lot of high sugar or processed foods, if we're not eating enough vegetables and fruit, if we're nutrient deficient, if we don't have enough sleep, if we don't have enough exercise, if we don't have enough joy, if feelings of sadness, depression, isolation are bringing us down. All of these things directly cause the immune system to not work at its ideal. So as a holistic physician, when I'm dealing with a patient that has allergies, I will always ask about these questions. Oh, you're having allergies? Well, what's your diet? How's your sleep? How's your exercise? How's your emotional health? All of these areas in your life are medicine. Okay, then the next thing I'll ask is, well, are you eating these foods? Wheat can definitely cause a weakness to the immune system. Dairy definitely increases inflammatory responses in the body. You don't need a food allergy test for that. If you have allergies and you're eating a bunch of wheat and dairy, starting to cut back on those can potentially help your immune system work more efficiently and not overreact. The soy, the peanuts, shellfish things, those are things that I often do a food allergy test for with my patients. It's a single finger stick poke. I take a bunch of blood from your finger. I put it on a little card. I can even mail you the kit. I have patients all over the country, so I work with patients anywhere, and I do phone consultations. And I can mail you a food allergy kit, and you just poke your finger, you put blood on this card, you mail it into the lab, and the lab emails me the results. And it's looking at if your immune system is negatively reacting to any of 96 of the most common foods. So the report is a 2-page report with these 96 foods listed, and then a bar graph of how much, if any, the immune system is being irritated by foods. So I do that often. I just had a family who came in, mom and dad both did this test, and they were so high on eggs and they were so high on dairy. And I knew it was going to be reactive because otherwise their whole life is super healthy. But they were having horrible allergies. So I was like, wow, that's interesting. They have a super healthy life, but yet something is weakening their immune system. So I knew it was food allergies. So you can actually email me if you want me to mail you one of these kits. They're $147. You pay the lab directly, or maybe $149 or something. But this is a good one to uncover some sort of chronic underlying irritation to the immune system, is doing this food allergy test. Okay, so now there are great ways to prevent allergies. Hopefully, if you're not already symptomatic, you can buy some local honey. This kind of acts like a vaccine, if you will. You know, how vaccines work is they just give you a teeny little bit of the agent that you want to be protected against, and it gives you such a little amount that it just is enough just to make immune system cells that will strengthen the body to not be aggravated by this substance. And the 1 teaspoon a day of local honey gives you a little bit of the local pollen, and so it builds your immune system and makes it recognize that, oh, I know this, I don't have to overreact to this. So it's kind of like you're creating tolerance to the pollen by giving yourself a teaspoon of local honey. Now, ideally, you start this a few weeks before symptoms, but, you know, it might be too late if you're already really symptomatic, but, you know, why not have a teaspoon of honey a day? Okay, now let's strengthen the immune system, okay? There's a lot of nutrient deficiencies in today's diet because our soils are depleted, our food isn't as nutrient dense as it was 10, 20 years ago. So these are the key nutrients that I have herbal blends, like I have an anti-allergy herbal blend. You don't have to take all 4 of these things because there's a lot of like anti-allergy blends that have herbs and vitamins in them. But before I get into supplements, which I will to strengthen the immune system, there are key foods that you can eat that have really concentrated nutrients in them that are specific to helping the immune system be more mellow. So I will get into those foods. Vitamin C, obviously we know this one's a really great immune booster. It's the first one we think about. You can get it in green and red peppers. Have a red pepper every day. You can get it in oranges. You can also get it in lemons and limes. Strawberries, kiwi fruit is actually really high. Cabbage. Interestingly, potatoes. I didn't edit this slide specifically for people with diabetes. I generally don't recommend people with diabetes to eat a bunch of potatoes. But one of my favorite ways to get vitamin C right now is I have a really powerful blender, and I put a whole lemon or a whole lime into the blender with a whole bunch of cut up fresh ginger root, maybe a couple inches of ginger root, and then I pour water and stevia, and that's it. I'm just doing my own homemade lemon gingerade. So lemon, ginger, water, stevia, blend it up, and it is so delicious. It's frothy. It's so good for you. The ginger has a lot of great nutrients in it as well. So if you have a really high-powered blender that can take that ginger and liquefy it, it's wonderful. But those are some great ways to get your vitamin C. Pick one of those, lemons, limes, orange, peppers. Have one every day. Beta carotene. This is a key one. It's specific to the respiratory system. You can get it in sweet potatoes, winter squash. Both of those are a bit high carb. So I like to think about getting your greens. Get some kale, spinach, collard greens. You can either steam those or put them in a blender and make a green juice. Carrots, good as well. So again, I hope you're taking notes. Add these foods into your diet every day. Have a big bowl of steamed kale with a bunch of olive oil and sea salt. Delicious. Magnesium. This is a nice one. It has a lot of benefits. It relaxes muscles throughout the body. So it's often taken at night to help people sleep. It's also often taken at night to help people have a good bowel movement in the morning because it relaxes the colon. It relaxes everything. It relaxes your airways so you can breathe better. It relaxes tension. So here are some great foods. Some nuts and seeds, spinach, avocados, one of my favorite foods. I've been making ice cream lately. And what I do is I cut up avocados into like ice cube sized chunks and freeze them. And then I put them in my blender with chia seeds and almond milk. And the chia seeds and avocado and almond milk will create an incredibly creamy texture. And then, of course, you put some ice cubes in to make it cold. And then you have your base for ice cream. You can put some berries in for make it berry ice cream. You can put some raw cacao, the raw chocolate powder in with stevia and make it chocolate ice cream. But avocados, there's so many great ways to eat them. I carry them with me sometimes and literally eat them like an apple. I just peel off the top of the avocado, pour some salt on it, eat it like an apple, and then once I get to the seed, I just dig around the seed with a spoon. But those are great foods to have in your life every day as well. And obviously, everything I'm talking about is also low carb and high antioxidants. And as people with diabetes, we really need to focus on high antioxidants because every time our blood sugar level is high, it causes damage to the body. And so as an extra protective mechanism to reduce the damage that high blood sugar levels causes, having really nutrient-dense diet is a great way to prevent and reduce the damage done by high blood sugar levels. Okay, quercetin. This is specific to antihistamine. This is the antihistamines are what help you stop sneezing and runny nose and all those things. So cranberries, obviously really low carb fruit. Another great way to add some color and a little bit of sweetness to your smoothies. Buy frozen cranberries and you can just defrost a few of them and sprinkle them with stevia for a nice little, just treat. Grapefruit, obviously also lower carb than grapes. And then here's our big leafy greens again, spinach, kale, and then cabbage, any color cabbage. Purple cabbage is great. Dark colors are great. So you can really heal your immune system from overreacting through all these wonderful foods. That's always the first step that I take with patients. Ginger. So I already told you about my lemon gingerade in the morning. It's so good. And it has so many benefits, not only for treating your immune system, but improving circulation, lowering cholesterol. It has an effect on lowering blood sugar levels as well. So really great for people like us. And you can read all the other great benefits. Ginger is a whole body healer, a really great nutrient food. Okay, so in summary, when it comes to healing the immune system and helping it not overreact, we can get a lot of the key nutrients from berries, citrus fruits, dark leafy greens, ginger, local honey, and then two things I haven't really mentioned yet are omega-3s and probiotics, but I'll go into those here in a little bit. But even if you just were to take away this slide from this talk, you'd have a powerful list of ideas in your medicine cabinet, so to speak. Okay, so as I alluded to before, the first step is really looking at the lifestyle. Nutrition I already went over, but sleep, exercise, and joy. All of these need to be in place as well, as much as possible. If you're not sleeping at all, or if you're not getting enough rest, of course your immune system's going to be weak. We all know that. If you don't exercise, your immune system is going to be weak. We all know that. And if we're not laughing and feeling good and relaxing, immune system's going to be weak. So I love, as a holistic physician, that I get to use these things as medicine, because they are. Okay, second step, then we go into the diet, as I've already talked about. Taking a multivitamin can help cover any nutritional deficiencies. Now I'm getting into supplements. The vitamin C you could take, but I love just having lemons and limes every day. Omega-3s are really important. I email all of my patients my brand recommendations, so if you do want to take supplements, just email me. My email is Dr. Jody, DRJODY, at drjodynd.com. So that's drjody at drjodyn, as in natural, d as in doctor.com. And I'll give you the brands that I recommend, because especially with omega-3s, fish can be toxic. Oils need to be treated very, I want to say very delicately, because oils can go rancid. So Nordic Naturals is a great brand, Carlson's is a great brand, but you don't want to just get any fish oil. I'll go into probiotics and magnesium in a little bit, but nutrients, right? Foods, lifestyle first, foods, and now we're getting more into supplements. That's kind of the order of the treatment plan I would write for you if you coming to me with allergies. I look at your lifestyle, then I look at your foods, and then I would prescribe supplements. Then the next level would be, do you have these symptoms? Do you get sleepy after you eat a particular food? Do you have stuffy nose in the morning after having a certain food at dinner? Do you have excessive goat black gas or bloating? All of these things, then the next step would be, wow, maybe we need to do a food allergy test. And then now I'm going to give you some supplements. As a holistic physician, this is not the first step I go, right? I go into lifestyle, I go into foods, I go into looking at allergies, and now this is going to be kind of an overwhelming list of herbs. You don't need to write all these down, because like I said, I have a great blend. It's just called an anti-allergy blend, and it contains all these herbs in one supplement. So if you are really stuffy, of course, neti pot, nasal irrigation, can be really good for a couple of reasons. It's just basically putting sea salt, warm sea salt, through your nose. Not only are you going to clear away the mucus, so then the bacteria doesn't have a place to live, and the pollen doesn't have a place to get stuck, but salt itself is an antibacterial. And oftentimes, coexisting with allergies are slight infections. So you definitely want to clear out that bacteria. Neti pot, you can get a neti pot at any local pharmacy, and they come with little salt directions or even salt packets. Now, here are some things you can do to just even avoid having the problem. Is obviously if the pollen count is really high, it's generally high in the morning, and you can literally see it floating around. Can you wait an hour before you go outside? You can get an air purifier for your home or office. You should make sure your house is clean. Wear a mask when you're dusting. Make sure your air filters are cleaned often. And here's a good one. If you're being outside all day and it's been really like a high pollen day, and I think there's a website that you can literally just pollen count finder and then put in your zip code, and it gives you the pollen count for the day. You're going to want to wash your hair and clothes before you go to bed, because if all that pollen is in your clothes and now you put your clothes away and your hair, now you get in bed, now you're going to be ingesting all that pollen because it's all over your house. So there's some avoidance tips. Preventative measures, again, it's really about taking care of your body, taking care of the lifestyle, making sure you get enough sleep. Staying hydrated is really important. You can do hot teas, you can do whatever you want, water. I have a whole list of delicious, do my lemon ginger drink, that's a good one. Avoiding caffeine and alcohol, because both can dehydrate you. And of course, being around smoke will irritate your sinuses. So this is why I love natural medicine. There's all these wonderful things that you can do when you really understand that if you have allergies, number one, you've got to look at why you have them, and that's what I do as a holistic physician. But number two, there's a lot of natural ways that not only reduce allergies, but they're good for you. I mean, drinking water, it's not just going to reduce your allergies, right? It's going to take care of you. So, I have patients all over the country, and it's so interesting. Allergies come at different times of year and definitely different intensities, but my treatment plan is the same because, it's the same thing anywhere. And like I said, I work with patients on the phone all over the country. It's really fun. Preventative measures, you can do the nasal irrigation in the morning and night, even if you're not symptomatic yet. You can have a humidifier. Keeping your house really clean of all these chemicals. Chemicals are really toxic to the immune system. So do you have bleach and standard chemicals all over your house? Do you wash your sheets and clothes in those strong, fragrant smelling, standard soaps like Tide and all those? It's really important to have really environmentally friendly cleaners in your house. Think about what you're spraying on your counter, what you're spraying on your floor, how you're washing your clothes, what you're spraying in your bathroom. You really want to get rid of all those chemicals. I know everybody uses them, so it seems like they're so, benign because everybody's doing it. But the reality is every little bit of these chemicals that are around you are weakening your immune system. So you really want to look for the biological, biodegradable and green products for your home. Okay, now if your body is weak in other areas, that's obviously going to weaken your immune system as well. Excuse me. Adrenal stress. People that are on the go constantly and they're just pushing themselves and they're basically running on empty, but they're still forcing their car to go. The immune system is going to be really weak, and I can help people with adrenal fatigue. Liver congestion. Fatty liver is very common in people with type 2 diabetes, and taking care of that liver is also going to be really important. So I put people on cleanses, but the simplest thing to take care of your liver is eating lots of vegetables that are from what's called the cruciferous family. The cruciferous family of vegetables is super beneficial to the liver, and those are like broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage. So I have a type 2 patient right now that I'm working with, and now she eats those, at least a few servings of broccoli or cauliflower, kale, every day. And it's really, she's really feeling good about it. We don't have a lab test done yet, but we got to take care of the whole body, right, if we're having allergies. Respiratory weakness, that's a whole nother conversation for another lecture to how to treat lung disease. Okay, so like I said, doing a detox. It's a great way to clean out your liver. It's a great way to really heighten up the concentration of nutrients that you bring into your body to make sure you're not nutrient deficient. It's like doing a little spring cleaning. I have a great 10-day plan. You can email me if you want to learn about it. Like I said, here are the benefits: more energy, lose weight, sleep better, digestion's better, moods are better, clearer thinking. And a detox is just basically taking some supplements that support the body to rid itself of toxins while you're eating a very clean diet. And I individualize it based on what people's lifestyle is like. But it's basically a very clean diet with some supportive supplements. That's what my 10-day cleanse is all about. Checking thyroid, very common. 17% of type 1 diabetics have autoimmune attack going on against their thyroid. I don't know what the numbers are with type 2, but if our thyroid is not in a good range, the whole body is not going to function well. And unfortunately, with our toxic world today, the thyroid is really, I mean, there's so many people have thyroid issues, and the theory in holistic medicine is that it's directly related to just how many toxins we have in our body now. Okay, so I went through it kind of fast because I realized I think it was just supposed to be 30 minutes, so I don't really know what time is it right now. But I'm open for questions.
Well, thank you, Dr. Jody. Actually, we're perfect on time. We have like 2 minutes left. And,
good.
And there are no questions in the queue, actually.
Okay.
But before we signed off, I want to thank everyone again for registering and participating in today's webinar. It's the listeners that make us continue to find faculty members to discuss a variety of topics in our life class series. So thank you very, very much for those that support us. As promised, we've taken all the registrants, we've entered them into a drawing for a copy of Dr. Jody's The 7 Essentials for Having a Happy and Healthy Life with Diabetes. The winner is Lori Ragsdale. So congratulations, Lori. We will be contacting you in the next day or two to send out the link for your prize. Thank you again to everyone for tuning in. If you'd like to listen to the webinar or look at Dr. Jody's slides, please visit our website tomorrow at www.diabetessisters.org and click on the Life Class webinar link. You will find today's webinar and all of the webinars that we have done in the past there for your listening and viewing pleasure. And finally, I'd like to invite everyone to join us for our next live class webinar. It is scheduled for May 18th at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and Ginger Vieira will be discussing diabetes burnout. For now, thank you all very much.